Sometimes we do not have words for some events, for some things, but we have only feelings for them. The same is for education. Quality in education is never an accident, it is always the result of intellectual efforts. Ignorance is bliss until it hits you in the face. The real education is the one that will set you free. You cannot be a great teacher if you stop being a student. Hello everyone. I am Neeraj Vashisht, Assistant Professor of Marketing at Budha College of Management, Karnal. I am so privileged and so honored to be sharing this evening with all of you and the incredibly successful academician. She is the professor and head of the Department of Marketing and co-chair placement at NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, Mumbai. I have the great honor to welcome the personality of wisdom, Dr. Joyeeta Chatterjee. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Professor Neeraj. It is a pleasure to be here with you.
She teaches management studies, conducts management development programs, and corporate training programs. Her area of teaching and research interest lies in marketing and has also published numerous research papers in reputed journals of the globe. She holds a prolific amount of experience in working with business schools for more than 25 years. Dr. Chatterjee, you are in education industry since a very long time. You might have seen all sorts of ups downs of the industry. We will feel blessed to listen from you about your experience that you observed during such a long time period. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Neeraj, once again. Yeah, it has been quite a long time I'm into this industry. Well, it has all started long back in 1996. Of course, when I passed out my MBA from Guwahati University in the extreme northeast of the country, Assam. After passing out my MBA, I got a job in corporate. I had taken up that offer and worked for an year or so. But somewhere I thought maybe I can contribute in the academics. That was between in my mind. But yeah, once I got to interact with one of my known, and I remember uh, I started to take up teaching as my visiting assignments on the weekends. And this is the story I'm saying about in the year 1996, somewhere around January. So on visiting
Yes.
basis, I started to take up this. After a month or so, I
Yes.
got the offer from the management. Why don't you think of taking up this as a serious profession? And well, in my heart, I was also looking for this kind of an opportunity. And so immediately I left my corporate job and joined up this profession. And February 96. Since then, I am into teaching. Yes, you are right. I have seen a lot of changes, lot of ups and downs in the industry. Lot of changes when I say it is the mindset changes of the educators, of the education promoters, of the students as well as of the teachers. So when I say about the students, yes, in the year 96 onwards, and particularly to the geography where I have come from, the mindset of the population are a bit different. So their attitude towards learning, their value system, which they carry from their family, all are dependent, and it reflects in their learning. And I remember they used to spend a lot of time reading books, the real books, the physical books, and spending a lot of time in the library and bringing back to the class. And as a teacher, yes, we were a lot of more of chalk and talk, and sometimes we also used to have that transparent sheets to display certain diagrams, certain flowcharts. We thought it was better to display this in the class with the help of transparent sheets. Where
Yes.
is it now? It has gone away with the wind, I would say. So chalk and talk
Yes.
till date, I would prefer to be the best method. However, the methodology of teaching has evolved and it has come to a huge change. The methodology that we used to have from references taken from multiple books in the beginning of my teaching career, and then displaying, discussing, writing down some important points on the board. I do write some important points even today on the board, but it is not that chalk, it is the whiteboard and the pen. So it's the different again, of course. Along with that, transparent sheets are no more in practice, more of PowerPoint presentations and interactions with the students, and usage of research papers, taking up stories from research publications, taking up stories since I teach marketing. So the modules that I teach, you will be also agreeing with me since you are from the same area. We need to bring back industry examples. So
Yes, sir.
certain websites are there. So see, somewhere consciously or unconsciously, we were getting embedded with the digitalization of the education. So like certain websites which provides a lot of informations about brand, about advertisements, for example, AFAQS, it has got a lot of informations about the recent discussions about particular brands, say Amul is a very evolving brand, an ageless brand. So yesterday they were talking. I mean, of very recently they were talking about MS Dhoni's retiring, and today they are talking about Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma's future generation. That is, are they going to give their child who is going to arrive and treat with Amul brand? So that kind of brand is Amul. That's the language Amul speaks. And this kind of practice I can observe if I can date back to my school days. That's the way Amul was, is, and I guess it will continue that way. So these examples we bring to our physical classes from these websites. A lot of websites deals with these kind of messages. So we need to highlight those things in the class so as to give the real slice of life examples. So this was not as a teaching method when I started my career. I had to evolve. The things had to evolve. Uh, and the entire contemporary colleagues, I have seen there is a huge sea change. So initially students were more focused on the marks. Today also they are focused on the marks, but marks are the secondary thing. More is how will they get good placements.
Yes,
Placements
yes.
have taken a front seats. Marks are there. I mean, in addition to the marks, also they need to become a good human being. So all these things, the counseling and all, used to happen face to face. Counseling was more in the beginning of my career. We do have mentoring and a lot of counseling sessions today, but the counseling and everything is botched up towards placements. So these are
That's
some
wonderful, ma'am.
notable changes. Yeah,
Yeah, that's wonderful, ma'am. And it's a really an inspirational journey of experiences. Chronologically, today is an era of digitalization. World has adapted the technological advancement in its virtue. Also, the education industry couldn't keep itself out of it. Eventually, they had to face some challenges, from admission process to lecture delivery, fee deposit to conducting the examinations, and many more.
yes, yes,
Dear ma'am, how do you see these challenges for education institutions in digital scenario? Please, ma'am.
yeah. Okay, okay. So I would start with the COVID thing. Though, as I said, knowingly or unknowingly, we were implementing and taking up inspirations from the internet and other electronic websites and all. But with COVID-19 taking up and striking us all of a sudden without any warning, and we could go back to the sudden lockdown announcements made by the Prime Minister, and I can recall the panic buying situation. So, and people were storing goods, I mean, the most essential products at home, and because from next day onwards, everything is closed, so no malls, no markets, no cinema, everything is closed. Even schools, educational institutions, college, everything is universities, exams being postponed, everything is closed. Gradually, we got that kind of announcements that we will start with the online education. Why? Everything can wait, but then why students future is to be wasted? So like, why don't we start up with the online platform? So we started the gap that had happened in the month of March. We tried to cover up. There was a little bit of gap because in semester system we do try to wind up, and in the end of the March it was supposed to be the exams, so little bit of classes were pending, so we had to finish up those classes through the platform of Google Classes and Google Meet. So that was the beginning. So when I gave you the inference of markets, was this was the thing, the entire world there was a kind of stop, but teachers were continuing silently, not being in the campus but in their homes, respective places, and connecting with the students. While the students they had finished up their classes, they had gone to their summer internship, there were continuously guidance and mentoring provided by the teachers in whatsoever online platform. It can be Google Meet, it can be WhatsApp, it can be Skype, it can be Zoom, so whatsoever. The students were in continuous touch with the teachers. In between came the admission process. This was also taken on Zoom. For the first time ever, we have taken the admissions, the personal interview, as well as the group discussion. Everything had happened on Zoom and smoothly. So I would say, I mean, there were a lot of laurels given to doctors. Yes, of course, doctors do deserve a lot of laurels and a lot of pats on their back. Of course, to the soldiers, but at the same time, some recognition to be given to all the teaching fraternity, because selflessly they continued with their mentoring and guiding sessions. So a lot of platforms are also there. In fact, the government of India started with digital platforms since long time, but off late with COVID-19 conundrum coming in, so we can say that the platforms like Swayam, taken up by many of the government of India institutions, then Swayam Prabha, that is for K-12 model, K to 12 model. Then we also have the YouTube, that the platform that we are interacting today. YouTube is
Yes,
again
yes.
some, yeah. So this is again a very, you can say, very useful. When I say useful, it is like those students who are at the remote location, who may not be able to connect live at times, or there are a lot of disturbances and disruptions in the internet connectivity. So it happens that when it is on the YouTube, whenever they have their connectivity, the electricity, and the devices are powered or charged, they can log on to the particular site and check out with the lectures or whatever the topic that is in question. So, from scholastic subjects to creativity to cooking, everything is available on YouTube. Why we are only focusing on one particular scholastic thing? No, everywhere. So digital platform helped us with supplies of essentials during lockdown. Also, at the same time, it has helped us to connect with students far and wide. And education, there is a continuity in education. So, exams being conducted, uh, admissions being taken, we could not even imagine exams and admissions, an entire process of group discussions, happening on a platform, virtual platform. This is extremely, I mean, you can say it's a very delightful thing. However, at the same time, there are a lot of challenges. Challenges in a country like India. There's a huge digital divide. So this needs to be addressed. Of course, it is not the education institute alone can address this, but digital divide because of the connectivity issues from the remote areas or at the remote areas. There is electricity issue. The devices cannot be powered because of the electricity issue. Then, of course, there are attitudinal problem also among certain sections of the society. And yes, some of the school level teachers are also facing some other issues in the sense parents scrutiny. These are of late we are getting some news items which comes or which flashes very often, that when they are on the online platform to teach school level children, they are scrutinized constantly by their parents. That's a big challenge.
Yes, ma'am. That's true, ma'am.
Hmm.
Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. It is
Yeah.
also said the greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. So, ma'am, to meet these challenges, what strategies should be adopted by an education institution? Please, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we have certain say challenges. As I said, is it a digital divide and underprivileged classes are there. So most of the higher education institutes, you see, they do provide students with ebooks. They do provide
Yes.
students with laptops or whatever possible aids that is there, they do provide. But at the end, to face the challenges, they need to understand at the same time, uh, what about the quality of teaching? Can we have continue with the same teaching methodology that we have in the physical class? The leaders of the education institutions should take up some steps to ensure that quality of online education is maintained. And now you may ask how to do that. So it is possible. See, when a physical classroom goes on, it is not in the format of the physical teaching format that a senior going inside suddenly, and the teacher also becomes quite conscious. Suddenly, if somebody comes inside our class, it will happen with all of us, it will happen with me also. So, in case of online forums, it becomes possible without the teacher getting teacher realizing it. The link may be shared. The seniors can sometimes observe and find out the effectiveness of the teaching quality. Also, it is very difficult to hold the attention span of the young boys and girls. So, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, if we continuously go on with classes, maybe in physical classroom, yes, they do get gaps and they have lunch breaks. They get to meet a lot of people, their friends, and they get a chance to interact. Even in online platform, they do have gaps, but they are not meeting their friends in person. They do not get, they miss the human touch. Same as a teacher with experience for 25 years in classroom teaching, and now I'm talking with a screen. So there's something that human connect is missing. So how to fill up that gap? So I personally feel that along with continuous monologue, it becomes very boring. So along with one's presentation, some kind of activities needs to be conducted. So activities, I'm sure you are very much aware about the different platforms that they provide. The educators softwares are there. They do provide with simulating games and With Zoom also we have breakout rooms. So we need to do some kind of innovations with the teaching methodology in the pedagogy that we apply. So if I am teaching about a particular case of Imami, brand Imami, or a particular case about Mahindra, or maybe a retail solutions, retail situations, in that case, I bring that case and then give some activity to the students, break them into different rooms, and then go back to them after few minutes, and then see how they come up with it. They crack their minds. They do again interact within that small team that has been created on the virtual platform, and some of them are very, very creative, and it forces them to think critically, which in today's educational scenario we believe on outcome based learning. We believe in assurance of learning. This NAC and NBA accreditation process, they do have such kind of guidance. So when we have to follow these things, then why not make such kind of activities within the system, within the education system? So yes, even in, not only in classroom, but also in virtual classroom, not only in physical classroom, but also in virtual classroom, this kind of activities can be conducted, and we can say somewhere the quality of online teaching can be sustained. And
That's amazing, ma'am.
thank you.
Be the kind of person who dares to face challenges and overcome them rather than dodging them. Institutions may opt for the stated strategies based on their competencies. Ma'am, when we talk about the institutions which are technologically advanced, what strategies should they opt for branding at social media platform?
Okay. So there are institutions which are already famous by their brand name, but they need to again recreate, refresh their brands. So in that case, uh, today's generation, they live on the social media platform, and earlier people used to read physical newspapers. Today's generation read news in shots. So they get all those updates on their mobile phones, and one liner newses are there. If you ask them a little bit more in detail, there they will uh, be shaky. So you have to create a snackable content. So what is this snackable content? Something which they like to listen and hear. So if we create user generated content, and how that can be created? By appointing the student representatives as the voice. They will give their testimonials on behalf of the institute. They represent the institute, the current students. Also, we can select alumni, and the members of the alumni can be a voice of the institute, because she has crossed through the portals of this institute. So they know better than anybody else. And the students who are currently in the institute, they are also the voice. So use their voice on the social platform. Now, which social platform? That is again a big question. There are so many in the social platform: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on. But today's generation, the target audience that we are trying to attract is more on Instagram. So we have to create uh, audience specific content, and also better to identify audience specific social networking sites. Go live from time to time, as we are live today. So go live from time to time, share some stories, success stories, success stories of students, of teachers. When a teacher's research publications gets published in a very good journal, why not applause and create a space on the social network? Teacher also feels good, students feel good. There is a branding of the institute done. Similarly, with students, students have a lot of activities. They participate in so many events. So go ahead, share your stories. Some guest sessions. We have a lot of industrialists visiting the campus. Now, with online, let us also find out some opportunities there. With the online education setting in, we may also be lucky to get the chief executive officer of a particular organization to address our students. Otherwise, he's a very busy man. With globe trotting personality, he is. But today, with this online platform coming in, even a top level executive can address the students. And students are also delighted to listen to those kind of voices, in addition to the same old teachers like us. So they get industry insights from such kind of uh, people. So yes, shared all those contents, and of course students love placements. You talk about placements and the best place students can, you can also highlight that on the social content. And yes, some students, if they become entrepreneurs, why not? This is something which entrepreneurship is something which is more wanted. They should be job creators than job seekers. So that job creators need to be highlighted more. We should encourage more. And when the current government is also talking about self reliant India, why not promote entrepreneurship? So I think that these are some steps by which we can do branding of our institutes on the social platform.
And that will be really helpful for an education institution to rebrand itself at social media platform.
Right.
This may prove as regeneration for the institution in marketing point of view. It is not
Yeah.
enough to know the strategies. We should know when to use them. So, ma'am, when should an institution consider the need for rebranding itself?
Okay.
Please, ma'am.
So, yeah. When is a $1 million question. Now, rebranding, as you said, yes, it is a hardcore marketing term. Now, what is the need of rebranding? When does a brand undergo rebranding? As a faculty of marketing, you and me, we understand that when there is a change, major change of being made by a brand, then we need to tell the audience that yes, look, this is the change we are going through, and hence we give a refreshed look in the entire
Yes.
product or the set of offerings. But are we changing totally in the education institutions? Not the total change, but yes, we are changing the interface currently, and that is a temporary phase, I think. We are hoping that physical classes will start from the next academic session. That's only hope. We hope that we get to meet physically. So yes, we can talk about the you can say the expertise developed by our teachers. They did not get much training to use the this interface, but they have learnt it by using it. So there's a saying, you learn and do and learn. So yes, but we ourselves tried to use it and we learnt it by trial and error. And yes, some of us have become quite expert in using all those we can say the different conferencing apps like Zoom, Google Meet, and many others. Also, are we encouraging our students to come up with MOOCs, massively open online courses? How much are we doing this? So, are we bringing out changes in the curriculum? And which direction are we changing? Are we also extending our product line? I'm talking in marketing language since you have talked about
Yes.
rebrand. So, are we giving our fundamental, the flagship program of many management institutes is PGDM or MBA? Along with that, there can be keeping in mind the certain societal changes, the changes in the industry, keeping in mind with the contemporary requirements. The courses can be PGDM in data analytics, PGDM in design thinking, PGDM with the specialization in neuromarketing, or maybe global MBA. So if such kind of things are being coming up, in that case, we need to tell our customers, that is the parents, the aspirant audience, that yes, there is a change and we are there giving the same program but with a new look. So if that is the case, we need to do rebranding. Otherwise, a bit of tweak and announcements are done in a subtle way in the language, the vocabulary should be kept in mind, because we are into education business, not into any kind of other commercials being developed. So we need to give the right kind of information to our target audience, where the change is, what kind of teaching methodology, how many international educators are we tying up with, and so on and so forth.
Ma'am, from corner shops to multinational corporations, say Apple, Windows, MacD's, and many more. There are so many companies, those who time to time change their strategies for marketing, who they rebrand themselves. They have changed their logos, their products
Yes.
modifications, and their
Yeah.
designs and everywhere. That's right, ma'am. For better outcomes, we should consider the need first. Then
Yeah.
the appropriate strategies be formulated and implemented based on own competencies.
True.
Customer value is highly considerable factor for every sort of institution, which is a combination of quality, service, and price. Education is primarily a service, hence intangible. So an institution should focus on the quality of the service rendered and the price they offered for it. Service quality is primarily an essential factor to focus on. The first step of improving service quality is to start measuring service quality. It is hard to improve that which is not measured. We need to know the level of quality that we render. So, how can an institution measure the quality of educational service that it offers? Please elaborate, ma'am.
Okay. So normally to measure the quality parameters of a service organization, we use the famous serve call model developed by Parshuraman, Zitmal, and Wittner.
Jitmal
However,
Bittner. Yes, ma'am.
yes, Berry and Zitman. So, however, for education institutions, we cannot always typically go with that watertight circle model. Here, I would suggest that as per the accreditation requirements of NAC, NBA, and all other accreditation bodies, we need to follow certain parameters that are guided by Benjamin Bloom, the Bloom's taxonomy. So, in the year 1956, Bloom had come up with his taxonomy. Its taxonomy is like it's a hierarchy of our thinking process. So, it starts basically with the original model of Bloom. It starts it's a kind of a triangle. If you allow me, can I just show the screen? If you allow me, am I am I allowed to share the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Little bit. Is it visible? Is it visible? Is it visible? Aha. Is it visible? Is it visible? Anyways, I'll stop sharing this. I'll just explain. So when we talk about Bloom's taxonomy, it's kind of a triangle. And the triangle says it starts with knowledge, next followed up by comprehension, application, and further it goes up with analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Whereas in the revised Bloom's taxonomy, am I audible?
Yes, you are, ma'am.
Am I audible, Professor?
Yes, you are, ma'am. You are
Okay,
audible, ma'am.
okay. So I just thought I'll stop sharing because it was creating some technical issues. So Bloom says that you start with knowledge and comprehension, only then you can apply your knowledge. And then also have a critical thinking aspect when you do some kind of research, when a teacher gives you some kind of assignments, apply that critical aspect of the mind and come up with some creative solution. And at the end, it is evaluation. Whereas the modern version of Bloom's taxonomy says starts with recalling whatever I learned as a student, whatever I learned, is it possible to recall? If there is a recall value without any help, in that case, I would say learning has taken place because the accreditation bodies talk about assurance of learning. What about my understanding capacity? Applying the knowledge. So, in management education, particularly in marketing, we need to apply the theory that we learned in the class and replicate the learning in the application. Analyze, then evaluate, and at the end, the creation. So, the difference between 1956 model and the 90s model of Bloom's taxonomy was previous one is only noun and the revised version is the verb. Revised version is the verb. So here you make the students do and make them sure that they have learned to create some extremely excellent ideas. So when the learning is there, only then they can successfully create. So some contemporary subjects which are required by the industry needs to be implemented in the management course too. So, if I say if you have to measure the quality of education, we need to say how modern is my curriculum, how updated is my curriculum. And not only that, do we also have API in order, academic performance indicators of the faculty, how many number of research and research publications in which kind on what kind of journals, ABDC, Scopus Index, where exactly are the publication taking place, and what is the score of the academicians in the API indicator. Are they also collaborating with students for research work and consultancy programs? It is also said that teachers should not only do research work and not only be teaching. Along with research papers, develop case studies. And we can develop case studies only when we have industry connect. So having industry connect is something which our modern day educational institutions look for. So being in Mumbai, we are blessed geographically to be connected with the industry very closely. That's the blessings we can say. But yes, in the different parts of the country also, there are manufacturing units. So, yeah, I would say how closely are the organizations, specifically if it is a management education, how closely are they integrating their course with the industry? So, how many times are they revising their course curriculum? And if they're revising, who are there in their academic advisory council? Not only top academicians but also bring in industry senior industry professionals. Only then it can be like merging with the industry requirements. I think these are some ways we can measure the quality of education as a service. We will not use the surf call model here. Surf call model will be there. Tangibles, for example. Tangibles are there for the students to evaluate. How good is the infrastructure? How shiny is the infrastructure? And the lab, faculty, placements. These are something they look as the tangible aspect from the student's point of view. But from others, accreditation and the educator's point of view, it is the other thing. Yeah,
They have measured the education institution or some service industry on 5 parameters, and it is the
yeah,
matter of the theoretical aspect of the subject matter. So it will be really useful after measuring the education service quality. We should focus on improving the quality of education service. The actual
right.
steps required to improve service quality depends on the specific situation, but they can be grouped into three categories: understanding of customer needs and expectations, performance of frontline employees, and communication.
Hmm.
Ma'am, according to you, what are the feasible ways to improve the quality of education service?
So, first, the gap analysis, as you have pointed out, understanding the customer's requirements and find out where the gap is. Is the gap
Yes.
in teaching pedagogy? Is the gap in happening because of the online methods that we have to implement without any options available? And how better we can remove the gap and implement it in a better way. So the I would again stress on the revised version of Bloom's taxonomy, which provides a very calculative and valuable framework for the educators, the trainers, to focus on higher education. So in order, I mean, this is actually in the order of hierarchy of thinking. So it focuses on the lower order thinking as well as the higher order thinking. So that needs to be in the syllabus, in the course design. mm, it This needs to be understood very clearly, which topics should be in a particular module, which topics should be carried out in what way, and each topic will also have their outcome. So, to follow the accreditation methods very seriously, and it's not only about the National Accreditation Committee I'm talking, or the Board of Accreditation. I'm also touching the points of the international accreditation. If you want to say be, if you want to see our brand getting merged with the global management education institutions, and we would like also to have international faculty exchange as well as student exchange, then it is very very important to have the outcome based education to improve the quality of education. What would be the outcome based education? There are 15 parameters that are followed everywhere, so I would suggest strictly to follow those 15 parameters, that is mission, vision and objectives of the course, program educational objectives, that is the PEOs, then of course the module attributes, students learning outcome, program outcome, course outcome, then of course the syllabus. Each unit of the syllabus has got the learning outcome. How is it measured? Along with teachers, education institutions, teachers' perspective, are we also giving in some industry perspective? So, industry perspective does not only mean a guest lecture session, but also making the students go to the market, go out and find out what are the different supply chain that is there in the market. So my students do get an opportunity. I give them. I don't take many times the written tests. In the midterm test or the internal test that happens in marketing, I believe that it should not only mug up and come. You need to go and learn from the market. So yes, I make them learn by going out to the different retail outlets and find out what are the components of supply chain that we discussed in the class. Does it match or is it different? Where is the difference? And then they come back with the study and also share their experience. Is it better to learn this way or only to write answers? So they say that this is a better learning. They will remember it for their lifelong. It's a lifelong learning. Also take up some consultancy programs with certain corporations. Then teaching methodology, case study based, role play, simulation, and yes, everything is possible these days with the online platforms. So yes, the teaching methodology should be as modern as possible. Assessments and evaluation tools need to be streamlined, or just now we talked about rebranding. So assessments and evaluation tools need calls for a rebranding. We need to have customized rubrics. So for each assignment which we give to our students, the same teacher may have different assignment rubrics, the assessment rubrics. So which it will help to understand the students, his attitude and his contribution, how there is a mapping. Because at the end, we see at the 15th point says, what is the presentation, what is the outcome, how do we present the outcome, and map the students learning with the program level goals. So I think these will be some of my suggestions, as well as constructive alignments of the course learning, the study materials given, the case studies that are taken, and at the end, how the students had fared for which question or the type of assignments that they were given, what were the outcomes they could what were the scores they could get for a particular question, and accordingly the outcomes can be mapped.
Ma'am, as you have talk about rubrics, it is a new topic or a new mode of pedagogy to for teaching or to learn something. In digital classrooms, we have found this topic.
Mhm.
So, would you please some more words for it?
For digital, how to go ahead with
For
this
rubrics.
topics, rubrics. Okay, so rubrics,
Yes.
say for example, if if I have given an assignment for, or I have given a 20-page case study, for example, 20-page case
Yes.
study is quite a lengthy one, but I might have taken the case studies from IIM's website, because they do have open sources of case studies, or also from Harvard B schools. As an educator, I have an account and I am free to take up a case studies from there, and share it with my students and ask them to come prepared with the analysis of the case. Now, for the case, I have designed some rubrics. Rubrics in the sense, um, what is the content analysis they have done? Effective, very effective, not that kind of effective, but overall he could speak well. Now, is there a solution for it? Did he come across with the solution? Or it is totally a mismatch? What is the decision sheet? Did he give the decision sheet? Did he come across as a management student, as an aspirant, a management student, or maybe by 6 months time, the semester 3 students, by the next 6 to 8 months time, they will be placed. So they will have to be taking decisions very soon in certain situations given. So how they are taking the decision as a team member, how they have worked. So team, so as a team member, 5-member team, what is the contribution of each team? Is the decision taken interdependently or independently? So the case studies will have one set of rubrics. Now, if I give them some other assessments may be to analyze one brand advertisements and come back with some solutions, or to create a meme of that particular brand, and that meme is communicating something. So again, in that case, what will I assess? The content given in that meme, the creativity, is the right set of message being given to the audience. Everything is possible to be done in a Zoom platform. It is possible. Divide the class into small teams, and otherwise it's a big chaos. So within that, you decide everything what you have to do. As an educator, I know what I have to do this day. So I talk with my class. It's a class of 60. So this is the thing. I'm dividing you among groups. So immediately the class will be divided. Technically, this will be managed by the Zoom apparatus. And then the task, as an instructor, I'll be going in, logging into that room from another room. So room 1, 2, 3, 4, bari bari say I'll go and enter the room and see what is happening. And after 10 minutes or 15 minutes time, I'll see what my students have done. And I could see immense creativity coming up from the students. Some of them are
Yes.
showed extreme creativity. And along with that, another thing I thought I forgot to tell you, to improve the quality of education, it is equally very, very important to focus on continuous quality improvement of the faculty. So there are many educational institutions who take the pain of organizing QIPs, quality improvement programs, which are mainly for the faculty. So I was lucky enough from the different institutions that I have worked, I could attend some of the best trainings that could be given to the faculty. I attended some AICT sponsored refresher programs, quality improvement programs from Kolkata and different IIMs and all. And these are all responsible for the changes. And till date, yes, if I get a chance, why not? So, this is something every educational institution should focus on. So, if you intend to improve the quality of education, you need to focus on the educators and enrich the educators' experience, enrich the educators' content. So only then the teaching methodologies will see improvements. Teaching pedagogy needs to be changed. We cannot retain on only the monologue. It has to be changed.
That's
I
true,
think I
ma'am.
have answered.
Uh, we should spend some more percentage of our earnings for the improvement of ourselves, because we are the teacher and we have to guide, we have to show the path to the students.
Hmm.
So your acumen Lexis has really blessed us. Now let us move to the query session, and we
Yeah, if there is any question, I'll be happy to answer if it is within my capacity to answer.
your experience, your wisdom, and the way of making the matter comprehensible has really proved in this reality, ma'am. And we do
Thank
not have
you.
any query yet. So that's wonderful, ma'am. I am running short of words right now, but I have to speak. Thank you so much for all the words of wisdom, for all the warmth, for all the blessings. Thank you for accepting the proposal, ma'am, and making the event a successful one. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Neeraj. It's an honor to be connected with you.
And we expect that we will meet soon and some another
Sure,
with some
sure,
another
sure.
topics.
Sure, sure, sure. Why not?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.